Well, another Derby d'Italia awaits us, and today is the day, a big one, everybody, especially with the results around us. And I see some nerves already in the live chat, but I got to tell you, everybody, I'm fired up. I'm fired up. I know Paul's fired up. I know Lucci is too. And maybe there's some nerves around there, but we're going to tackle it all together right now. All right, everybody. And for whatever it's worth, I don't know if it's a good sign or a bad sign, but we've all had snow dumped on us. Lucci spent all his time shoveling this damn weekend.
Brutal.
And you guys haven't stopped talking about it. You and Trimmy over here. That now I got a big dump of snow out here this morning. All right, but maybe that's a good sign. I don't know. We'll find out. Boys, how you doing? Lucci, how you doing, man?
I'm tired of shoveling, but other than that, I'm keeping hopeful for today. So let's get her going.
Hey, saves you a trip to the gym, man. Just keep
That
shoveling.
is
Just keep shoveling.
very true. Very
There you
true.
go. There you go. Paulo, how you doing, brother? Nice jacket, by the way, man.
Thanks.
Look
Nice
at
cup
that.
too. Loving it.
Yes.
I'm doing pretty good. There's no snow in Texas. It's going to be about 80 something on Tuesday, so it's going to be nice and hot. But
Well,
yeah,
there's nothing like picking at our scabs on the start to a Derby d'Italia show. Nice and nice weather
bend
there
your
over in
legs.
Texas.
Bend your legs. Go easy on the back.
There you go. There you go. Everybody in the chat, what's up? All right. Drop a like as you roll in here. Get ready. It's Derby d'Italia time, and it's a big one. We do have to tackle the news before we get into the build-up into this game. Lineups, everything. We'll say what's up. Snowy Montreal, too. We got James, all right, coming in here. Great to see you in here, brother. Mitch, ciao tutti, tough match coming up, but we are Juventus. Let's hope we see the real Juventus, and that's one of the question marks. Which Juventus do we see today? Well, we'll go over all that. Forza Juve, andiamo, let's go. Piro, let's get the 3 points. La vittoria è nostra, dai, Forza Juve. Trimmy, ciao tutti, get the shovels out. Gotta dig out the snow and get ready for this match. Why don't we dig a little grave for Inter in the snowy banks of Ontario, all right? Let's go. Hopefully we can get that done. What's up, everybody else? Great to see you in the live chat, and we're going to tackle some of the headlines coming through, okay? First up is that when it comes to lineups and everything, squad list, Cambiaso did make the squad list, okay? And then Douglas Luiz is, in fact, out. Okay, we'll tackle a little more of that when it gets into it. We do have some finalizations. Nico Gonzalez, done deal, obligation triggered. All right, so Juve will pay Fiorentina 25 million plus bonus to finish this thing out. Quick thoughts on Nico Gonzalez up until this point before we get to other headlines. Paulo?
I don't know, man. I've liked some of the things he's done. He's strong. He's had a couple of nice goals. Hustles his ass off. Moves around a lot. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure for the price. Not
So a
sure
little
yet.
uncertainty still from there. Luch, how do you feel about Nico?
The best way I'd put it is inconsistent. I'm not sold yet. That I'll say that.
Yeah, I think consistency would be a big thing. I mean, I feel for the guy too, in a sense that we haven't really solidified a whole hell of a lot up top, and he has been up top. He's played one match in the 10, and he's played left, he's played right, so it's kind of like a mishmash, like it's been with our offense, just kind of everything. But I'm on the same wavelength. I'm not really, I'm not overly sold, but I also don't think he's a complete bust. Like, I think that's too much. I think it's just the consistency, for sure.
Yeah, you've got to stay healthy too, which would help a lot.
The other is Di Gregorio, permanent basis. It is getting wrapped up and finalized. Done deal. Buy obligation has been triggered, which we expected in February. And now Juve will pay Monza 13.5 million plus 2 in bonuses. He is under contract with Juventus until 2029 for 2.2 million a year. This one I am certain of. Di Gregorio's awesome. And I'm happy for this one, and that's a great price. Guys, agree?
100%.
Yeah, I think they got him in early before someone else went for him. He's a great goalie for the future. Would love to see him use his feet a bit more, but lovely, lovely goalie.
That's fair. That's fair. Now, other news. Gatti, the extension, should be wrapped up very, very soon. And yesterday we found out the news that there is continued interest. Actually, a lot of these clubs coming from England looking at Federico Gatti. And yesterday the news was that it doesn't really matter to him. And the offers that were coming to him were from more in terms of a salary perspective. And he still just is sold on remaining at Juve. So even if Gatti was in the plans for Juve to sell this coming summer, it might not amount to much since he's already under contract to 2028 and he doesn't want to leave. So if they did have that as a plan, they might have to look elsewhere. But guys, how do you feel about Gatti, the extension, etc.? A lot of people are saying sell him in the summer, and I don't think if he wants to stay, we won't be able to move him. And I'm actually happy to have him. I'll be quite honest.
I don't mind. I like his desire to stay, but if someone's offering 30 or 40, I think I'm selling, to be honest with you.
You would like to get that capital and stuff, but I also like to have him amongst the squad. He doesn't need to be the 1A, and I actually think he would be fine with it, even if he wasn't. Like, I don't think he's the guy that strikes me that he's going to cause turmoil if he's not a main starter game in, game out. I don't see that being his MO, but I could be wrong. But I'm happy to have him amongst the ranks. And we'll talk a bit about that whole moment where he kind of went rogue against PSV and my thoughts about that and other players, etc. But Paulo, what do you think?
I love his character. I think he's a super great personality. His heart's in the right place always. He works his butt off. I don't think we'll get 30 plus for him, but if we could, it would be nice. He's great depth. I don't think he's a 1A like you said, but he's great depth, and he's got a bit of magic in him. I think he's nice to have if you already have some depth.
There you go. There you go. So Gatti extension set to go down. As far as sales go, let's wait and see. Tonali rumors. Oh my God, we're gonna be linked with this thing for so long, and it's Fabiana Della Valle. I gotta remind everybody, she's trying to make a living off being the first to call Vlahovic to Juventus, but outside of that, it has been weak sauce from her. Okay, in terms of this Tonali thing, his agent came out weeks ago stating that he doesn't think anybody in Serie A has the money. He stands Newcastle around 55 plus still on the books, which means that they're gonna want to get some type of capital there. If the whole point in them potentially moving players is to help their PSR, which is the same as us getting capital, okay? That's what they're looking at, profit and sustainability rules, right? And regulations. So the whole point of them moving talent would be to what? Get capital. So it's going to be a big move. And he's got a high wage as it already stands. So it's tricky. And everybody's getting their hopes up. And a lot of the outlets are also suggesting Douglas Luiz going the other way. Look, I think we could say unanimously we would all probably pull the trigger on this move. I just don't see it happening. But hypothetically, oh yeah, I'd probably do that. I'm still on the fence with Douglas Luiz, but this Tonali thing, we could kind of shut it down. But Luiz comes into it because here's a guy, again, as we stated, missing again after playing a game. And it comes up that it's fatigue. He had a training session after PSV, suffered fatigue, then withdrawn. This is infuriating for me. Like, I don't even know. I don't even know anymore. What happened to the management plans around this guy? There's a lot of speculation about the intense training sessions, etc., still going on, and we still just shoot ourselves in the foot. I don't know what the hell's going on there. I can't speak to it because I'm not involved, but all I know is this guy is never going to get in rhythm like this. He just won't. And it's infuriating because I'm going to be quite honest. I would have started him in this game. Would you? I would have had him starting.
Yeah, I agree.
It's tough. It's tough. Like, you can't speak to it. We don't know what the hell's going on with this training session and stuff, but to lose guys on fatigue.
Is that little
repeatedly?
thing he's got with water on his muscle and it builds up and it has to kind of be absorbed or go
Well,
down
they
on
didn't
its
bring
own?
that up this time because before, that was the first time I'd ever heard of this. The word even edema with the fluid in the muscles building. I'm
Right.
like, what the hell is going on? Like, we managed to find the first case in however many years of me following this game. But I have no idea, man. I have no idea. I would have started him, though.
But what's even more frustrating, if you look at his injury history before joining us, the guy was fit like all season. Like the past 2 years, I don't think he missed more than 1 or 2 games, and now he can't stay fit for 2 in a week. Like, it's frustrating,
Yeah.
man. It's
Eric says, no, give me Thuram, Thurman. There's a lot of Thurman. There's a lot of typos that take it to Thurman, and I immediately think about Bad Santa. Thurman Merman was the young boy's name, all right? And it makes me laugh every time I see Thurman in there. Thurman Merman, classic for gifting a wooden pickle that he carved and cut his hand out. Epic show. Epic show. Listen, give me Thuram, Luca, and Luiz. I would have actually went with that 3. I'll explain why later on, but that's the midfield 3 I probably would have rocked with. Okay, now we'll keep things rolling because the Luiz thing is frustrating, but in terms of rumors, Lookman continues. It got to the point today this week where we heard of contacts being made by Juve, probably looking at pre-agreement and then going down this route. He's going into his last summer before final contract year, so we might be able to take advantage of that, right? Well, the reports say it's still 50 million.
nope.
I'm like, would Atalanta be willing to go in? Like, a part of me says, you know what? Push them to the brink and mess with them and let them go into that final contract year and just let them take a 0 on a player. But I have a feeling like it wouldn't happen. Ultimately, Lookman would want to go somewhere and they would make a sale. But it would be epic if we got his will and just drug it on and on and on until the summer passed, and then we just, here's one for you, right back at you. But for 50 million, Lookman, there's a lot that say go for it. Solid talent, everything. You know where I stand when it comes to Atalanta and Fiorentina players, whatever. But Lucci, we haven't got your take, I think, yet on Lookman. We did ask Omer, we asked Ganga, etc. But where are you at with Lookman? Then we'll get Paulo.
Yeah, I'm skeptical on that just because where was he before he even joined Atalanta? Was he doing anything spectacular?
I think he
or was
busted at a team in England.
That's-
It wasn't very good before coming to Atalanta. I can't remember
wasn't
the
he
club.
in Germany too at some point?
Maybe.
I like that's just, my point is he was really nothing before he joined, so I'm very skeptical on that. And he was close to PSG in the summer, wasn't he, or sometime? So if PSG is gonna pay up, let them pay it, let them take the chance. I'd rather not. I think we can look elsewhere, maybe cheaper options.
Yeah. Paulo, what do you think? 50, Lookman.
No way, but he splashed on the scene with some great goals, some bangers at important times. But I wouldn't bank 30 on him doing that with us, and I wouldn't even think about it. No way.
Yeah. So we got another player that we're targeted at going after, and that's Adeyemi. So Enzo here says, I'd rather target Adeyemi than Lookman. Agree or disagree? Would you rather go Lookman if it was between these two that you're looking at bringing in?
What's the price point? Are they more or less the same?
I think they're actually pretty damn close because last summer, Adeyemi was 50, we were hearing, is what they wanted. Now another year on top of it, I think it'll actually be less.
I'm really not sold on either of them, to be honest. But and why aren't we focusing more on strikers than wingers? Isn't that kind of where we need to be looking?
Well, this is a whole nother thing, is because, we're getting close to home free. We've got reports financially we'll get into, but Few sales still have to be made. I think they're eyeing up a move for Imbangula in the summer, which I would not do. I would hang on to. But again, we have to wait before we get too fired up, too worked up to see where the numbers actually are, because we might be in a situation where we don't have to move anybody. We're that damn close, everybody, if the projections are true, which is fantastic. So
Someone's
for me,
getting sold.
the other thing is too, if you're finalizing Kolo Muani, which is the game plan, which is what we're hearing, he can also act as a winger. He could play anywhere across the top. So why are you targeting more wingers? Like,
Exactly.
stop it. And in Bangula, let him continue on. Like, I don't even think we've scratched the surface with this kid.
But
And every time he comes in, like, even if he's having a rough go, he finds a way to get a goal in a Champions League game against PSV. There's something to be said about just following your gut and being in the right spot at the right time. He broke free of that left wing. I get it. The execution wasn't great, but his movement and where he was trying to go was all good. All his ideas were on point.
they're just
So
looking for pure profit on him. That's why.
I know, but like I said, the reports of the finances. So basically everything we were hearing was that February 27th, we should hear that we're in the positive. And then exactly as I told all of you, we were probably going to go into the negative come season end when the rest of the expenses hit and taxes are added. Now they're reporting that the projection that we should potentially see at season's end is going to be negative 36 odd million. Somewhere around negative 32 to 36 million after taxes.
Which is crazy.
Which is
like incredibly
it's
great.
crazy that it happened that quickly.
Yes,
that
yeah, that's what I
Juntali
meant.
got it down. Now, I put out a tweet. I don't want to get into all this because there's a lot of misunderstandings about how the finances work that I'm just not going to get into it. But like I said, Juntali has been tasked with one job. And he's done it because we're pretty much home free. Get a damn sponsor. Calvo had one job to do. That sponsor might have taken us in the green to the end of the year. But the thing is, right now, even at this, you can operate still in the negative. We don't have to sell. If that comes to fruition and we are in fact minus 36, whatever, you're done. You don't have to go well beyond that. And we probably will anyways, because we have two circumstances that we know were coming the entire time. Vlahovic is going to be sold.
Yeah.
There will be a little bit of capital in there. Cambiasso might have already made up his mind. And that might already be coming down the wire in the summer. You're going to get so much capital on that Cambiasso move that you don't have to move anybody else. You build your team and you just move forward. So looking at all these wingers doesn't even need to happen.
And
Doesn't
when
even need to happen.
and when Bangala was up for sale or in conversations, I think it was like 12 million or something, which is nothing. I don't want these kids to be bargains for other teams to benefit from. So we wouldn't have gotten much from him anyway. But it's curious to see if they're looking for some kind of new partnership up top with Kolomoani, somebody who can kind of, do a lot of interlinking, move around, switch sides with somebody maybe more dynamic who's maybe not going to stick to the sides as much as an added dimension to that forward line. But I don't want to lose Bangula. I think he's wonderful the way he's matured in such a short time.
Yeah. So to answer Ori's question, yeah, that's for the term. Like that's for this fiscal year, right? So you had minus 199 the last fiscal year. You're going to have minus 32 this one, right? With a positive balance at the midway term is what we're expecting February 27th. So the works, what Juntali's been tasked to do is good. But Juntali's also tried to provide a competitive team. This is where the divide begins with fans, because you have fans that believe, well, he hired Mota. So if Mota's not doing a good enough job, guess who's run with that? I look at it a little bit differently. I look at your front office, okay, your ownership, the parts they play. I look at the sporting director. Yeah, he could hire the coach. The coach might fail. but that doesn't in turn mean that he immediately has to be wiped out. Remember, Marotta brought in Del Neri. So, again, everybody's got their task and their piece of the puzzle. But the big kicker here, everybody, Champions League. Spain has overtaken Italy for the coefficient, okay? We're probably not going to recover that. Now there's no fifth spot. Fourth spot. And now the battle is on. Now, like, it's intense. There is no safety net. We got to get cooking. Today is big. They're going to be after it too because Napoli drew. The way the results are going, they can reclaim top. Inter's going to be coming for us, and we need to be coming for them because the points are critical. The points in this Derby d'Italia are critical for both clubs. Now,
don't we get our Europa League, Bert? Don't we get our Europa League in 5 then?
Yes.
Not that I want to go to Europa League instead, but that's still going to be, what, 15, 20 million?
Significantly less.
Automatic qualification for Champions League if you win it.
You're probably selling more players if you don't reach Champions League. Even if you're in Europa, you're taking a bit of a hit. It won't be as much in winnings. So again, it's critical.
And this is the weekend. Honestly, I know it's a tough match, but Fiorentina dropped points, Lazio dropped points. This is gotta try to take advantage. Simple.
Yeah. Como did us a solid. We gotta take advantage. Big one today when it comes to all this. So Malta, the players, they gotta get going. They gotta have that fire. We're gonna talk about the lineups and sometimes tactics and everything because it's a derby. Go right out the window. And this plays a big part in my thinking and my methodology when I come up with my lineups, and we'll get into that, okay? But it's a big one. The last two things about our coach, about our team, etc. Marcello Lippi had some words about our coach. He was pretty direct about it too. Simply stating that I do see a capable and focused coach who is dedicated to his work, but he doesn't excite me. He says, I think a coach must give feelings to his players and to his fans that follow the team. Coming off Allegri, who won a lot, I would have liked a coach who embodied the fans more. I was surprised by this move. But he did say, only time will tell if this decision will bear any fruit for Juventus. But time is often not a luxury you're afforded at clubs like Juve, Milan, and Inter. Merda. So, what'd you guys think about that? Pretty direct from Marcello. What'd you think?
I mean, you can't really disagree with what he's saying. It's not like we've come out killing and on fire since he joined. So time will tell, like he said. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Paulo, what'd you think about his words?
When Lippi talks, people listen, right? I'm not excited about Mota. I mean, I've had rants and been complaining about him, but so I think he is right now not proven to be the right guy. Doesn't mean he's the wrong guy. Depends how much time you want to give him. But it's funny because when Lippi says he shows up for work and he does a good job, well, whatever he said, it sounds like, yeah, he shows up on time, which is not really a ringing endorsement, right? Yeah. Like he's got soccer shoes. He brings a ball. That's not really ringing.
To me, immedially.
And is he talking about Conte or somebody? Is he talking about? To me,
immediately, I just thought he's describing Conte. And I'm like, I feel like he wanted Conte. Just like all summer, Ciro Ferrara, Delivio, all these guys that were around like certain Juve events that were around Conte a lot too, have all been stating that if Juve asked, he would jump at the opportunity. Well, they had a big celebratory weekend. Actually, I think it was a week too, with the last Champions League winning squad. And Lippi was there, obviously, in the heart of it all, with all these guys mixing it up. And all these guys out of there, Torricelli as well, all said the same thing. If Juve asked, Conte would jump at the opportunity to return at the bench. For me, Lippi was explaining Conte. That's how I came to it. When you're talking about a guy that excites you, that embodies fans, etc., it's like his MO. It's everywhere he goes. If there's one thing Conte does, is bring everybody together and get fans fired up. That's why I took him as explaining him. Do I put a ton of weight on that? Not necessarily, because there's a ton of great coaches that don't excite me. Like Ancelotti does fuck all for me on an excitement level, but he's a great coach, a great man manager. Doesn't excite me one bit. And I'll be quite honest, Lippi I never found to excite me, but his words, like when he spoke, were always like crystal clear, strong, and they got me amped up. But in terms of like demeanor or everything, it wasn't like he was this crazy coach, like in terms of attitude or anything on the sideline. So it's interesting to hear. For me, I think he wanted his guy. I think he wanted his guy to get the job, and that's all it came to. But it was interesting. Zizou contacts. All right. This was the big one. So I mentioned to everybody on the show, 3 weeks ago? It was either 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, about the news that was coming about a big shift. A big shift, which there was a lot of names that were tied to an Agnelli return. Zizou is one of the names that is tied to the Agnelli return, as well as Platini. It's rumblings, it's rumors, it's everything that everybody's throwing around. And now media's kind of twisted it. And now they're stating, because there are portions out there believing that an Elkan is panicking over this top four thing. He is nervous. So we've heard a lot that Juve's been eyeing up possible options if they have to hit the eject button on Motta. He is keeping close tabs, Elkan, on top four because of that revenue. There's no mistaking that. Zizou, whether he's contacted by this group, I don't know. But a lot of the rumors originated from him being part of this revolution, this return around Agnelli, which has already picked up more steam. And they're starting to say, the rumblings in Italy, that it's quicker, way quicker than the 2 years that everybody heard initially with that contact. Now, all I'm going to say is this. Rumors are rumors. We tell you all the time, take it with a grain of salt. We keep moving. The hypothetical stands, though. If we did have to hit the eject button, Zizou, yes or no?
Yeah, I'd say yeah. Yeah.
You don't sound so into it, like just, yeah.
I mean, I'm not. Look at the teams he had. Of course they were going to do well. You know, I want to see him with a team that needs to be built, that still has a lot of work to do. It's very different when you're comparing where Juve are at now and where Madrid was at when he was there. That's how. I don't know. I've never really seen him put in the dirty work to win. The team was already set. Like, it was stacked. That midfield was crazy. I don't know.
All right.
Skeptical,
Paulo.
but I'd do it.
You would do it, though? Paulo, would you?
Yeah, Luch is right. I mean, Zidane probably wants to come into a situation that he's got a great set of mix of players and veterans and proven guys, a squad ready to roll. That's why he's linked to France, because he said he would only go back to Real Madrid or he'd take the French national team. Again, a situation where he's got a clear target, a great group of players ready to go. I'd be surprised if he'd come to Juve before going back to Real Madrid or before going to France. He's going to have a job to do, which may not be up his alley. He may not have the patience for. I would love to see it. I would love to have him here in one way or another.
Yeah.
But I also want this Mota thing to work before I completely lose my goddamn mind.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
honestly, with Zizou, it's just I keep coming back to the point. I'd love to see him. I'd
He's the
love to
shit,
see him
dude.
back at Juventus. Would
Imagine
love
you're a
it.
player, and right there talking to you in your face is Zidane, and he's saying, "I need you to do this. You two got to do this. Where are you?" And he's sitting there going like that. You're sitting there going, "Yes, sir. Yes, sir." And you're out there
I
busting
think
your
there's a
fucking
part of it
ass.
that's also the draw to, like, to talent, to players. Like,
True.
there's aura there, right? And it's another reason why, you know, maybe some guys aren't qualified for certain roles, but getting them involved with our club like means something and has some type of significance and importance when you're looking at bringing in talent. Because we've had a lot of great players. And you have a guy that's got so much respect out there globally in Del Piero. Find a role. But the
Well,
question is, does Del Piero, does he want the role he would be given? Does he want more? There's always a lot of speculation there. Del Piero also had an interview recently, and it was interesting because he made a comment that was taken against Juve or against FIGC or simply making a joke. And nobody really knew if there was underlying tones there or not, because they were talking about VAR, etc., and the problems, the issues, and then they got into just who's reviewing everything, who's making calls, and they said they need to. It was Capello and I believe Di Canio, and they said you need to get players involved because the people making these decisions, people looking at this, are making calls in games that have never played the damn game. So get players involved. It goes to Del Piero, and he goes, nobody wants players involved, and he starts laughing. And everybody's like, because they started talking about La Sociedad, right? Just in general. So it was like, well, we know his friends have been snubbed by FIGC. We know there might be some things about rumors about him wanting to get involved with Juve and Juve kind of keeping players out. And then remember the Chiellini rumor, etc., about him not being in the dressing room now, etc. So it's like, is he taking a subtle dig at Juve? Is he taking a dig at FIGC? Is he taking a dig at all of them? Or was he just making a joke about players that are retired and not being wanted? Take it for whatever you want. But there's a lot of weird little subtle signs here and there that maybe there's something more going on behind the scenes that we just aren't privy to. But getting these guys involved, I don't see it as a detriment in any way, shape, or form. Zidane, we know the logistics. He's probably waiting for the France gig, and that's probably going to be his next stop. But in terms of us as a team, I always said, and this is where I contradict myself, and this is where I find it very difficult with Zidane, because I said, if we bring in another guy, I don't want another unproven. And I want somebody that at least has a CV, that at least has accomplished something and whatnot. But now it's like, well, you accomplished something with a great side. And that's the caveat. It's like, could anybody have done that? Well,
Possibly. Quite
possibly,
possibly.
maybe not. Could he do something with a younger squad? Maybe, maybe not. And at least Zizou would help with the sponsors. That's for damn sure. So take a shot or not. I don't know. And to another point here, I see Sev brought up, it's not realistic. We're not spenders like that anymore. Your coach's salary has nothing to do with like your finances when it comes to player salaries, etc. That goes towards your year annuals and stuff. So it actually is completely separate. So it would just come down to Elkin if he wanted him. And that's where the rumors are contradicted. Does Elkin want him? Or is this part of some revolutionary idea on a return? Hey, we're waiting to see. But in the meantime, like I said about old Elkin, he's getting nervous, and we got a big game today, everybody. The Derby d'Italia, the latest one, critical points. We're going to get into it now with Juve and Inter. We're going to start with the lineups for the Snakes, okay? So this is what we're expected to see from them. There was a lot of question marks around certain injuries, but they are all expected to be there. Thuram is the one that we're waiting to hear, but Di Marco and Bastoni should be in there. This is pretty much straightforward. Pavard, De Vrij, Bastoni, of course, Sommer in goal. Dumfries, Barella, Çalhanoğlu, Mkhitaryan, Dimarco, Pineapple Head, and Marcus Thuram, the wrong brother, up top. So, guys, there's not much we got to say about the lineup. It's solid, well-rounded. There's no real holes there to like pinpoint or target or take advantage of. It's a solid
I
lineup.
mean, how could you not target Mkhitaryan and De Vrij? Probably the two weakest links there.
Yeah, but as a unit with Pavard and Bastoni, they actually still play well. And Mkhitaryan, like, for a little midget and stuff, like, he does very, very well. And the three of them can interchange so good. That's a group that's been together for a while that they can all drop back and be in that deep line playmaker role and interchange between Barella, Çalhanoğlu, Mkhitaryan. Now, for the brunt of it, it's Çalhanoğlu and Mkhitaryan, and Barella usually stays to like push that transition. But what are we saying here? It's a solid lineup. It's a solid lineup for them.
That right side's going to be tough.
Yeah.
If you look down that, if I have Thuram and Dumfries giving and going on me, I'm fucking shitting my pants, man.
And this
Especially
is
if
what
you're
scares
Savona.
me, because that directly lines up with what? Our left side. And this is what Thiago Motta has decided to go with. Di Gregorio, Weah, Gatti, Vega, Savona on the left to get this start. Cope Miners and Thuram. Then you got Conceição, McKennie continuing in the 10. Nico Gonzalez, Kolomouani up top. Guys, the immediate sore spot for me is Savona. I would not do that. No chance.
Yeah. I agree. That's my biggest concern as well. The even Coop Miners, I'm a little surprised he's not starting Locatelli there. But Savona is definitely the eyesore for me. I'm very
and
worried.
I mean, Matt's saying I'm just glad Kelly's not there. But to be honest, take your pick from Savona or Kelly. They both get torched, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That scares the shit out of me, Michael. Like Savona on the left. I'll be quite honest. Cambiasso just returned, and we said if it's between Savona and Kelly, I said all leading up to this game, even from post-match PSV, I said I'm not playing either one of those guys, period. So it's between Cambiasso or McKennie. Is McKennie that critical up top? Is that the way Motta sees this, that he is that critical in that position that he should not be used back there if Cambiasso can't be used to play because he's just back from injury? Or would you bite the bullet and throw Cambiasso into the fire? Would that be better than either Savona or Kelly? Because you got a decision to make here. But
it's tough. It's tough. I don't think Cambiasso can give you a start just yet. He's been off for how long? 3 weeks, 2-3 at least.
yeah.
Man.
Sevi says I'd rather put an 80% Cambiasso there than a 100% Savona on
And
that.
Savona's not even 100%.
Well, yeah, he's got this groin thing that and he's on a wrong side. He's not a left back.
I think I'm assuming he's going with Savona just based on him defensively. Like he's probably the most defensive sound out of him or Kelly would be my assumption. I don't know.
On the left, he's just fucking not a Savona. Any good that was coming out of the right side, Savona, has not shown on the left.
Yeah.
I'll put it that way. Agreed, Paulo?
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Savona, as you know, but he struggled lately. He's got that injury. Putting him out in such a big game on the left side is really dangerous.
Yeah.
Cambiasso is still suffering from Pep SD, so I don't think he should be. I don't think he should be put in that situation right now either, because he might fall over.
Yeah.
I think Mota's looking to play another hit and have McKennie up there solving his problems, like McKennie's done the past couple of games. And I would love to see McKennie on defense with Way on the other side holding the fort. But I think Mota's reaching into the same well.
Yeah. It's a tough one. I'll give my ideas. on how I'd probably do it, and then we'll get your thoughts on it. But a big birthday shout out to Eldar there. Happy birthday. And yes, I hope that we can get a victory for you. It'd be a fantastic gift. Reminder, everybody, I am rocking a watch along for this game. 20 minutes before kickoff, I'll be live. Guys, I think I would go McKennie on the left. He might get cooked a little bit, but not to the degree of Savona or Kelly. If Cambiasso absolutely can't go. And the other thing is, you can shift. It gives you the ability to shift. Cambiasso might not have, obviously, full 90, but you could bring him in at some point in this game to take over there and slide McKennie forward, right? Mm-hmm. So it doesn't completely wipe that out. And you have players capable of playing that 10. The thing is, does he absolutely have to have 3 midfielders in this game? Could we get away with a Nico or a Yildiz playing the 10 role in this game against a pretty solid midfield in what they have? That's probably where Mota has always geared towards having 3 midfielders in there, right? And I'm looking at the squad list there. You've got, 4 mids in there, period? 4 midfielders, period. Locatelli, Cope Miners, McKennie, Thuram.
Yep.
So do we absolutely have to play 3 mids in this game?
I'd say no, because Nico has played as a midfielder, no? Has he not? Like, I feel like he'd be able to put in the work rate in that 10 role without an issue.
The way our wingers work, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
They've been putting in just as hard a work on the outside defensively as they would in that role.
Right. So I that's what I probably would have considered doing. Because then even if you have Nico down the 10, he can also play, interchain if Colo goes to the left or the right, whatever. Like, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think you needed McKennie there to answer your question.
I think Inter's going to come at you hard, and they're going to come through the middle and the sides. I think that battle in the midfield is going to be huge. It's going to be a really physical game. He's probably put his beef in the middle to try and slow that down. And with McKennie, like I said, it's like Mota's got a new pair of pants that he likes, and he's wearing them every day. But the other thing that he's done, which is interesting, he's got, I think with Vega there, it's changed the way he feels about his back line. It's changed the way he feels about his back line, and he's moving one of those backs up the field. And I love how Weah is a bit hesitant when he's defending. Like, you can see he gives up the box a little sometimes, but he always gets back in time. He's up there high, and when Weah gets brave on defense, he's really effective. And I think with Vega making some of those long stretch passes, I think he's seeing more of a 3 at the back in a way. So maybe having Savona be more of a in a 3-back, the left third back, so like a center left back. Maybe he's thinking Savona's got a little more of a positional play versus a man marking down the line and hit him when he's coming in. Yeah. So I think there's something happening at the back, and I think that's changing maybe how he sees it. Still doesn't make me comfortable about Savona there, but maybe there's something else developing at the back.
I'll finish with this in terms of my thoughts with this game. I have a big problem with when we look at this team and we look at like attitude and you look at energy and you talk about like just the approach. In a big game like this, like, I need to see the guys in there that deserve to be, that you have trust in. So if we're going to pull up this lineup for me, like, I'm sorry, but a guy that's consistently shown like guts and balls, etc., whatever, is not Cope Miners. And Locatelli needs to be in this middle of the pitch for me in this game. If you're talking about looking for the right attitude, approach, and mentality. The argument is that Cope Miners, this is the game to wake him up, and you move him back there. Okay, but like, you had a million chances prior to do that and to wake this guy up. The fact that you waited and waited and waited and kept fucking around, I'm sorry, it's more deserving to go to Loca. Savona does not deserve to be on that left because I want trust. These games, tactics usually go out the fucking window. And then it comes down to the guts, how courageous you are, etc. Savona doesn't scream courage to me at this point. Weston McKennie would scream courage to me at that spot. Nico Gonzalez playing a role in the 10, he always has grit and fight, whether he's performing or not to the level of execution we want. You know you're going to get 150% of whatever the hell he has in him. And I respect that, and I'll take that. Keenan Yildiz, I start him. I know the argument for keeping some talent on the bench, etc., whatnot, but you know what? Get after it. This is going to be a game of attitude and mentality, and like bank on the guys that have showed that consistently. Because a lot of time this game isn't tactics, and this game is just flat out balls.
Yeah.
So that's just my quick thinking. In a grand scheme of things too, I've given Mota a lot of flack about a team being a reflection of its manager, right? It's a combination of the players and the coach, because I do think for the majority, we can agree that like we look scared. It's not that we look scared all the time. It's that against PSV, we didn't look scared when we were 1-0 up. We didn't drop completely back, but it was like when we equalized, you saw the fear kicking in. You saw like they were a little shell-shocked, a little rattled. Sometimes we do get shell-shocked before we even, like with a lead, and we like just drop off and we have these lapses. So in a game like this, trust the guys that more often than not have been on the right side of the attitude and mentality, at least to try and keep things level. Because even the players, even Mota, none of them can figure out why there's always these drop-offs. And McKennie had an interview where he said, when we score, Mota's urging us on. He's urging us on. So why the drop if it isn't him? Because it's also the players. So start banking on these guys. Start banking on these guys that have shown it to you more consistently. I'm sorry. Save that left side. But this is what we're going to see. I hope it works. But what do you think in terms of what I'm saying with the trust, go into those guys, and just the mentality and this fear that we have to try and shake, this drop-off? The battle is Juve versus Juve more than it's Juve versus Inter.
Yeah. Are they just like, is just some mentally weak individuals? Like, is that what's holding us back? Like, I'm not saying it's everyone, but it could be a couple of them. They're just not, they're not taking that next step to being great players. They're just fragile. I don't know.
The flip side and the crazy thing is that it's always been somebody else. Like, it's been Cambiasso a couple times. It's been Cope Miners a few times. It's been Douglas Luiz a few times. It's been, like, it's always another suspect, right? And you're like, what the hell? Like, as a group, like, you can't just collectively put it together. So we got work to do. But in this game, man, give me the guys more often than not that that have built that trust anyways from an attitude and mentality approach. And if mistakes happen, whatever, you go with it. But I just think we're throwing Savona into a fire that is gonna
What's
run
interesting
wild.
What's interesting, Bert, about that left side and about Yildiz being there instead of Nico is when Danilo was forced into that left back position against Man City, where they were going to need to counterattack, they were going to absorb and then retaliate. You had Thuram and Yildiz spending a lot of their time helping out Danilo on that lower left side to keep the defense and to keep the wall up. Maybe he's hoping Nico, and if that's the case, why not? Why isn't Yildiz there? But I guess he's hoping maybe Thuram and Nico will help Savona, and maybe he wants to counterattack because Fiorentina counterattacked Inter when they had success. They sat back, had the ball for maybe a few minutes, and when they had the ball, they were dangerous with it. Is that the play at home against Inter? I don't know.
Yeah.
Ah.
But hopefully, maybe he's thinking Savona's going to get a lot of help. I don't know.
We'll
you
see.
also don't want to be too left open with Inter. That's so I get that.
We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. And it's getting close to prediction time and then Storm the Barn. We are gonna go through key stats in this game, okay? You've got Juve undefeated 31 of their last 32 matches in Serie A. Juve targeting their first 4-game winning streak of the season. Inter undefeated in 18 of their last 19 in Serie A. And Inter, of course, 1 point behind Napoli in Serie A standings. Your official today set the Tony in honor of Scangavino. Maurizio Mariani. 163 Serie A appearances, 4.8 yellows per game, 52 red cards, so that's about just shy of 1 every 3, everybody, okay? 1 every 3 matches, 56 PKs. Again, around 1 every 3, so...
no diving in the box, Luca.
I was going to say, that's why
Derby
Luca's on the
d'Italia,
bench.
and this guy coming in here... Oh, we could have some fireworks. You guys know the drill. Final score, 2 tiebreakers. Lucci, where's your head at? Let's go. Reminder, everybody, drop in the likes. And also, for our boy, Kais991 here, I got to put this in here because I saw your comment earlier on. Lucci, you have to finally give in and admit that Weston McKennie is a must start.
He is a must start. He's been good. He's been good. Doesn't mean I still don't think he's limited in certain areas or certain technical abilities, but he is a must start. Yes, I will agree.
Kais, there you go, brother. Okay? Always looking out for you. Thanks for the support. Everybody drop a like. Let's go. Lucci,
You guys been
prediction
busting
time, buddy.
them. Okay, so I'm going to go 2-2. I'm going to go 5 yellow cards.
Okay.
And the first yellow card is going to go to, I'll say Gatti. He's going to get the first yellow card.
Okay. Ooh. CB for us taking it. Would Lloyd Kelly have to come in and play center back?
Let's hope not.
Come on.
Let's
Okay,
hope not.
2-2,
Only a
5
break,
yellows.
and
Gatti
4
gets the
guys.
first yellow. Paulo, you're up.
I don't know. I was having bad dreams last night thinking about this game, tossing and turning. I had Inter scoring first, and then I was rolling and swinging my arms in my sleep, screaming. And then we tied, and then I was smiling and I was calm. And I thought it was going to be 1-1. And then we scored late, and it was 2-1. And I woke up and I was really happy. So I think 2-1.
2-1 win.
Okay.
And,
that's not how I
think
saw that
Coop's
going, but you really had me on a roller coaster there.
I'm surprised you remembered a dream, man. Like, it's hard to remember a dream, but that's a lot of detail. That's good.
But this was a good one, and it was only a couple hours ago. And and Coop, I think he's going to be really important on set plays. I love the way he takes a corner. So I'm going to have Coop firing one in from the corner to Vega, who's going to beast mode it.
Ooh.
And I also think Coop's going to get a goal and an assist. So here we go, the Coop show. And I sometimes say things just because I want it to happen.
Yeah, you try and manifest your prediction. I love it.
You're manifesting it.
You know?
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got. Cugino Eddie coming in here, 3-3. Forza Juve's got 2-2. Taram and Chico goal scorers. And, of course, Inter gets a penalty. Muser, Sev, 2-2. We got 4-4. We got this jabroni. But, yeah, that doesn't matter. And actually, the way he put the numbers, we're the home side. So the first number is actually the zebra. So 2-0 Juve is his call. Thank you very much for that. We got 1-0. Juve Cola with a goal. Trim. 1-1. Inter gets a PK. A Big Mac goal. Shithousery performance by Inter. Skippy's going 2-0 Juve. Second half of the season going to be great. 1-1. Vincenzo G, 2-1 Juve, Conceição and Yildiz. We got Mitch, 2-1. Golo, Omer de Piqué. Dushan wins it off the bench. 3-2 from Matteo Camisa. Wow, taking us back to the 3-2 from this one. Oh, yeah, I'll take that. Give me a late one again. Cugino Eddie switched to a 3-3 all of a sudden. Colo Brace and Wea.
Is the game on right now? Is this live?
Listen.
Hey, that Inter guy,
is...
the snake, he had the score switch, right? So that's Inter trying to reverse a win, right? From us? That makes sense. right? That we won,
Yeah,
and he's
that's what
trying
they
to
like to
switch it.
do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they like to
That makes sense.
take things undeservedly. That's okay. The real thieves. Now, 2-2 draw. There is a PK and there is a red card in this game.
Oof.
Those are my tiebreakers. 2-2.
Who's it going to be against?
We see a PK and we see somebody sent off in this game. Maybe you even see a coach sent off. But there will be a red card. That's it. I have a feeling this thing's gonna be a wild one, and the ref will definitely have his say. It'll be fiery, critical points at hand, but in the end, stalemate. But remember, everybody, no matter whether it's a win, it's a loss, or it's a draw, some things never change. Whether you're at the stadium, whether you're at the beach, or maybe you're going to catch a lift, it's always Inter merda. All right? Win, loss, or draw. All right? So hopefully the lads take care of business. Now, we got to have some fun and get into Storm the Barn. All right. Now, we're going to kick things off with Tuna coming in hot. Does it frustrate anyone? Some of our winter signings, Vega and Cola mostly, have shown more grinta, desire, than the guys that have been here all season. Actually, this is an interesting point because Vega had an interview recently and he literally spoke as if this guy grew up with Chiellini. It was just, he was speaking the truth. So everybody says, oh yeah, that's nice. Just a new guy trying to get the affection of the fans. He's not even going to stick around. But hey, is there something to be said that these guys have shown more in that regard than the guys that have been around here? Paolo, Luch, what do you guys think? Does it frustrate you? Are you bothered by it? Does it kind of piss you off?
I think it's great. You know, sometimes you had a job and there's some kind of weird vibe going on around the office and people are kind of complaining. Some people are, Then the new folks come in and they're like, hey, what are we doing? Where's the project? And they're all into it, right? That's what these guys are. They're coming in going, yeah, let's go. And I think it's great because they've been wonderful. So I'm very happy about it. But
yeah, I can see both sides. You know, Luch, what do you think?
It's good. Yeah, I think it's nice hearing, some guy who just came in, talking about the mentality and the way to win and always winning is important. And it's just maybe that's kind of what the other players need to hear and get going with that, just keep the morale going, just get everyone hyped up. Why it wasn't there in the beginning, I don't know. But it seems like a few of the guys on this team are lacking that grinta or that morale. I don't know what it is, but I'm fine with it. I like it. Good for him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have any problems with it. I do see maybe some of the frustrations that, like, these guys are coming in and just showing a little more fight and everything like that. It makes you wonder about the cleanup in general. And if, when you're doing this whole cleanup, if that's why maybe it pushes some of these guys can't shake from the crap that we came from and point penalties, and it felt like it was always something year after year after year with Allegri and the previous management and everything. It makes you wonder, just having fresh minds come in that don't have baggage with whatever the hell was going on before, right? And I've said that before as well, so who knows?
These guys haven't been playing. Like, these guys have been sitting there dying to play, and they haven't been playing. And they're coming to a team where you have all these guys who have, 14 draws and so much pressure. So they're coming in excited.
Shatterstar coming in here. In my opinion, a coach's job is to make a team better than the sum of its parts. With all the players flopping after having success at Atalanta, isn't it fair to say that Gasperini is underrated? Is Gasperini underrated? Is he rightfully rated? I mean, he gets a fair share of praise. Definitely has over the past couple seasons.
If Gasperini was that good, they'd be able to beat whoever they played yesterday morning. I don't remember who it was, but it wasn't anyone good. So I'm tired of hearing this.
It was Cagliari.
I think it was, yeah. tired of hearing about this Gasparini. Whatever, man. Who cares?
Jesus. Paolo, what do you think? Rightly rated? Underrated? Overrated?
I think his teams play with a lot of excitement and a lot of passion. They don't quit. They go for it. Doesn't always work out, but I love his
It
enthusiastic
looked awful
style.
yesterday, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can happen.
But I will say
with him. I think
this,
he's
for
doing
a
good
guy
job.
that has his team like pretty set in design and their approach and everything, like, I mean, they're not as, his team is not as like this way or no way as some of the other coaches I see. Like De Zerbi's a prime candidate of, it's my way or the highway. I'll lose 6-0 before changing a goddamn thing. Whereas Atalanta can go through gears and they can like clamp down and shut it down when they have to and change it up. So I'll give Gasparini a little bit credit for that. He's not necessarily a full-blown one-trick pony, but his one trick is pretty damn good and works with whoever that he's getting rejects and castaways. And he's making them so much money because they're performing in his system. Does that mean he could go to a big club and deliver? I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean,
The juice, buddy. Juice.
I'd love to see him without the juice, or maybe I'd love to see him with the juice.
It's
at
very
Juve
different
and,
though at a big club. Just like the standards are different. You know, he's been at Atalanta for how long now? Like they weren't relevant until a couple years ago, really.
Yeah,
I don't know.
they
the
were
pressure's different.
always building themselves up. Like everybody was appreciating what they were doing from a financial perspective for a smaller club, but then they started getting into the mix. They still always drop off. We're starting to see a drop off with them now. But I mean, winning that Europa was big for a team like Atalanta and what he did. It's kind of a culmination of years of his work. But as far as Gasp goes, I don't know. It's a big question mark there. Breaking Bergamo, starring Gasperini. Love that.
Nice.
Love that. RB Comp's coming in here. Fuck that second spot for Champions League. Regardless if we don't finish top 4, we deserve jack shit. I agree. I mean, you got to get into the top 4.
Is that a question or how we
no,
supposed to
it's more
answer
of a
that?
statement, I guess. But I just realized if we lose today and Milan win, Milan go ahead of us. From how far behind Milan was,
Milan
or
played
were,
already.
that is embarrassing. I mean, it is what it is. We gotta get wins. That's nothing new. We've known for a while. Juve's got to start getting results. This is a big one though. It's gonna be tough. This is not gonna be an easy one. I'm more frustrated, and I always will be, in the points we pissed away against the shit teams. That's where Juve's failed.
Yeah.
Is
100%.
winning positions against shit teams. No disrespect to them, but yeah, I'm going to disrespect you. Winning position and giving it up. That's where our season faltered and put us in this position. It's not the big games.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? I still have this weird feeling that, like, they need to figure out how to level off no matter who the opposition is. So I actually have this weird feeling like Juve might put together a pretty damn sound performance today, and I'm hoping that's the case because we're going to need it. If we're not, it could get ugly, you know? But I do get this vibe, like, with the bigger games, they've been better, but they still have that lull. Like, look how we entered the game against PSV. First leg playoff. I don't care that it's PSV. It's first leg playoff Champions League game. Like, that first half was solid. You just lacked that bite in the final third that we still have to figure out. And for that, I'm going at Malta. Like, fuck, man. It's February 16th. Your offense has zero chemistry to create chances. What are we doing here? Yeah. But the energy, the attitude, like in the big moments, the big games, we do tend to show up. Leipzig, City, etc. Like, it's good. Are there moments in there where we falter? Yes. Absolutely. And that's one of the problems we got to clean up. Hopefully today, We see a 90. We see a full 90. Mitch, if we beat PSV and finish 4th in the league, but keep on playing like this, not much progress, then what? So, obviously, I take this as a question in terms of Thiago Motta.
Mm-hmm.
So, basically, we hit marks for objectives, but we don't play any better. You still confident in him, Lucci?
I wouldn't say confident in him, but I don't see him leaving either if the objectives are met. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm still skeptical, no doubt.
Yeah.
But there's still there's a lot of ball left. So we'll see how we round out this season.
It's tough with the flashes, right?
Yeah.
Because like you see
just gotta
some
get it
really
consistent.
good stuff, but you see some really bad shit too, right? So it's tough. Paulo, where are you at if this was the thing? We get round of 16, which was an objective financially. We finish 4th, so we qualify for next year's edition, but we keep playing the way we have. Where you at?
I guess he's earned his job. I guess he gets to stay in the summer and gets another chance with hopefully a more complete, healthier squad. But I don't buy him. I'm sorry. I'm not into his style or whatever his ball is. I'm just not into it. But I hope our team does well, and I hope whatever this P word is works out. But I'm not sold.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a bunch of ball we got to play. So let's see. I'm just kind of at. I don't know. It's tough because it's got to pick up. It's got to pick up for me to have more confidence. What do I believe the team will do? Would the team be looking if we hit objectives? Maybe not.
I don't think so.
I don't really know. There's a lot of weird shit we've all seen that's obviously coming from behind the scenes. That like we don't know. We don't know what's going on there. So we have to have trust in the people that are there on a day-to-day basis. What the hell did Fagioli even mean by that one tweet when Kalulu was shown like selling in the stands, and then he's piping up being like, "Oh my god, videos in the stands now if I speak," whatever. And it's like, what are you even what the fuck was going on behind the scenes? Like, can we not be a circus with absolutely everything?
But like, why make that comment? Like, what are you trying to gain from that?
I don't
like,
understand
what
he was even talking
Yeah,
about. So
I
it's
don't
just
know,
like
man.
he's obviously butthurt about something. And
But
the
why
way
would he
shit
take it
went
out on
down.
Kalulu? Like, it's just Kalulu's Instagram. It's not Juventus's Instagram.
I
or
don't
Twitter, whatever it was.
understand what the hell is happening, but like clean it all up and like today.
Man,
Crazy.
he's mentally fragile for sure. So you know what? Forget it.
Alcaraz.
Like he can go cry somewhere else.
Maybe he had a
Alcaraz
couple of
started
pints.
his first game for Everton and left the pitch with a goal, assist, and had an overall great performance. Should we have tried to keep him knowing he'd probably be our starting 10? I'd
No.
say at that price tag, absolutely not. Because wasn't it like astronomical, the purchase price on Alcaraz? It was like
He's a
in
10?
the 40s.
I didn't even know he was a 10.
So, yeah, he
He
does
did
play
absolutely
there.
nothing when he was here. Like, what are we talking about here?
Because we didn't even play a 10. We were just playing flat threes. It was so funny, man. But like Alcaraz, that price tag was way out of whack.
Forget
So
it.
I'm going to say no.
Forget it.
I'm going to
And
say
he's
no.
playing where?
I'd take an Alvarez.
Alvarez, yeah.
I'll take the Alvarez, not the Alcaraz.
Who wins the possession battle in this kind of game today? I think it's a more fair split
Yes.
than we would think, but I'd probably give them the edge possession-wise.
55-45.
Something close, something like that. It won't be out of hand, but I have a feeling they'll get the possession battle. Is this the most important match of the season? Make or break time.
I
Paulo
disagree.
says yes. Lucci says
Yep.
no. Interesting. So, Paulo, let's start with the yes, it is.
Yeah, I had Napoli used to be the biggest game of the year for me when that was coming, because I feel like it's a barometer for measuring your intensity, your quality, your opportunity, your conviction, your decisiveness, your wanting to make a difference in the standings, et cetera, getting over that hill. And we didn't. We failed in Napoli. And now this is the next game where I think we need to step up. You, as a team with the kind of fragility or the ups and downs we've had at home against Inter, if you win, you really prove a lot to yourself. The coach is going to be thrilled. Obviously, the fans will be pleased. I think you need it. I think you need to show. You need to find out what you got, and you have to play teams like this to sometimes do that. So I think it's the biggest game.
I don't disagree with you, Paulo. My only stance is that going into the season, you knew this game was going to be tough. You'd be happy to take a draw. A win would be incredible. But I don't think the season will, considering how everyone else is playing, obviously that's not what you want to take into consideration, but considering that, it's not going to be the make it or break it. I think the games that you have where you're supposed to win for the rest of the season, that will be your make it or break it. That's how I see it.
Yep. It's tough. Like, if I'm thinking about this, you've got 3 wins on the trot, regardless of how. At the end of the day, they look the same on paper. So you got 3 wins in a row. You can make it 4. You could do so against a bitter rival. And you've been looking for turning points this entire season. And this would actually probably give you one of the biggest ones going into a stretch. And you just brought in some guys that are contributing, like Vega, Kolomuani, etc. It actually could be potentially, from that standpoint, going down from here, the biggest match. In terms of results, it isn't the most important in terms of what could still happen and reaching objectives, etc. But from like a team perspective, a team building perspective, and this group, it might just be.
Yeah, but Bert, we've won some games, and then our next game has been a stinker.
I know.
True.
But we also...
Maybe it's winning the shit
But
games
again,
like
you
Lucci's
start
thing.
talking about the opponents, and you start talking about dropping down. And that's why I'm saying this is a big one. Like, this is now you're following up.
Right.
And you're going against the one true rivalry you have going left. That's an actual rivalry. And that is Inter.
Yes, but I still think Wednesday is more important. Playing well and getting a result from that game is more important, because that's...
I disagree.
So much relies on Wednesday.
11 million euros. That doesn't make or break you. Champions League qualification. Points in league. Domestic takes priority.
Yes.
11 million.
Yes.
11 million, you make up.
But
you know what? Find me a fucking sponsor for 25, which we still
Well,
haven't.
that should have been done a long time ago. But
I'm telling you,
going
man,
into this season, we knew these games against Inter, against Napoli, were going to be very tough, and getting 3 points would be incredible. I don't think it was set in stone or a guarantee. So if they play well, see what happens. I don't think it'll make or break the season, though.
Serie A but I'm just, in terms of the priority, Serie A takes the cake, I think, for me right now. You've got to qualify for next year's edition. All the points in Serie A now are critical. And like you said, pointed out too, like, Milan's right there now. Like, they're right there with us. Like, we can't shit the bed anymore. Like, it's huge. When we destroy PSV in the second league, God, I love that. Forza Juve, okay? Do we hope we get drawn against Arsenal? They are in a
100%.
huge injury crisis and might have to play Calafiori as striker. Calafiori. They also have a looser mentality. You know what? Give me either one of the scumbags. Whatever. You make it into
I'll take
round of
Arsenal,
16.
100%.
Yeah, give me either team.
Yeah.
You know one, you're familiar with one, or you got a team that's starting to crumble and fall apart. No problem. No problem.
I'd love to beat Arsenal. I would love to beat Arsenal.
Yeah.
Have Arteta
100%.
crying and whining and complaining. The ball's too big. The ball's too small. There was 2 balls. I have no balls. Love to beat Arsenal. I do not like Arsenal.
Yeah. Stay humble. Stay humble. Listen, Yeah, it's a big one, no doubt. We have a couple more we're going to get into. I want to talk about something too, because Calafiori got brought up, and Wing of Winter was talking about Vega because Mota came out and made this big statement about Vega. He could play the short passes, he could play the long passes. It is what we've been missing all along. No, because has it fixed anything in terms of our attack?
No.
No. So again, everybody that's coming at me because Thiago Motta came out and gave you a big juicy matzo ball. Sometimes I call him Thiago Mozza. Sometimes I call him Thiago Mozza. Okay, depending how much he pisses me off. But listen, it helps. It has not solved the issues. Okay, come on.
We do look a little better defensively.
Stop
though.
it with
I'm still scared, but
I like Vega.
And I don't mind those long balls getting some of those speedy guys loose and just getting over those lines quickly. I don't mind
Get your damn midfielders on the fucking ball and let them do their job. Let's go. No more mozzarella ball. Let's go. Do you think Vlahovic will start any games this season for the remainder of the season? Yes.
we got Empoli at the end of the month, right? For Copa. That's when he's gonna start.
He'll start a game. Safe bet. Will Juve permanently sign Colo? That's the plan.
I would hope so.
But just wait and see. Things can always change.
It seems like he wants to leave PSG. Seems like we want him or someone like him around. So why not?
Yeah. When will the AJC be revealed as the new shirt sponsor finally, Berto? I tell you what, it's going to take a hell of a lot more likes than 51 with how many are in this chat right now, Mitch. Let's go, everybody. Listen, I'm fired up, okay? I'm fired up. I'm ready for this game. I'm ready for whatever the hell happens. Remember, it's still the same. Win, lose, or draw. This always and forever, okay? But before we sign off, like closing statements, closing thoughts going into this game. Lucci, do you have a storm in the barn? Do you have something we didn't talk about?
Ooh.
Paolo, same for you. Do you have something we haven't touched on that you want to? No? Guys, good?
I will ask, when everyone is fit, defensive-wise, who is your starting four? Way has been good.
Like,
do you take him out?
Are we talking like everybody fit like Bremer?
Sure, if you want to include Bremer, you got Kalulu, you got Cambiasso. Like, that changes a lot. Although, you know what? Let's leave Bremer out of it. Let's keep it for this year because right now we have Vega. Next year, we most likely will not. So, I don't know. You gonna take out Weah? He's been pretty solid.
Weah looks way better as a right back than he does anything else I've seen, especially striker, that project. But he still found contributions. I don't know. Back, everybody healthy? Bremer, Gatti, Kalulu, right back, and left back, Cambiasso. Everybody fit. Everybody rolling, like performances were good. That's probably what I would do.
You just praised Weah and you still bench him. Gotcha.
All right. Yeah. Because overall, I still think he's a guy coming from the bench, like a solid rotational piece for Juve, like a utility.
I think Bert was thinking about Bremer, but I don't think he's allowed to be part of the answer.
I was saying for this year, that's fine. That would be his going forward for next year. I get it.
Okay, so then substitute that. And just put Vega and Gatti.
Yeah.
Right. I would say Kalulu, Vega, Gatti, or Gatti, Vega, and Cambiasso.
Yeah.
So same. Okay. Yeah, I would agree.
If he doesn't have his Pep SD trauma going on. I had another dream. This was where we were three at the back. So the Storm now don't clip that up. The dream was three defenders instead of four, and getting more of our midfielders in play. I don't think Mota's going to go for it, and I don't think maybe he wants it. But what does anybody think about our chances of three at the back, considering our injuries at the back and our depth at mid and having more of our midfielders on the field?
Three at the back, eh?
I don't know.
I do actually
Savona,
have
Vega,
a storm in
Gatti.
the barn. but we'll
For
get to this
example,
first. Three
Kalulu,
at the
Vega,
back.
Gatti.
Lucci, what do you think?
Yeah, do I trust Kalulu in a back three though?
I'm not sure either.
Especially at the back, if someone's coming in aerially at the back post, he's done. He's toast. Anything in
He's
the air at the
done.
back
He's
post,
done.
he's finished.
He's
That's why I do
done.
think he's a better right back than he is center back, although he was decent in most games. I don't even know if I'd start Kalulu in a back three, to be honest with you.
What does your back three look like, Paulo?
Yeah.
Well, it would probably be Gatti on the left. It would be Savona on the right, and
See, I
Vega in the middle.
disagree. I do Vega on the left because he is left-footed. I would put Gatti in the middle and then maybe Savona on the right.
Nice.
I would consider that.
I like that.
So who plays the outsides? Weah as like one of your wing backs? Because what does
You
that
could-
do to like Chico?
Yeah, where's Nico Gonzalez gonna play as well?
Nico could play one of the two up top, so could Yildiz.
And you could do a diamond, so you could have Luca being back where he likes to hang back and help out the defense and not get too ahead. And then you've got the diamond, you've got maybe Coop and Taram, you've got maybe Louise at the top. It gives you an extra spot, is what I'm wondering. And if you ever wanted to do a Dushan Colo pairing at the top, it gives you an extra slot.
Yeah. Huh. I don't know.
Like I said, it was
I
a
don't love it. I don't love it up top. Just for our wing, I think it just neutralizes our wingers a little bit. Chico
Speaking
will
of
be,
this like back three and all this stuff, pretty funny. Just a fun little storm the barn. Not really storm the barn, but just like Bonucci's all-time 11 for Juve. Guys, this guy spent too much time with Mr. Max Allegri to play Tevez as a wingback out there. And that's all I got to say about this one, all right? But otherwise, not. Buffon, Cannavaro, Barzagli, Chiellini, Pirlo, Pogba, Vidal, Dani Alves, Del
Alves.
Piero,
Oh,
Ronaldo,
that guy.
and then Tevez on the outside there.
no Marquisio, no Lichtsteiner either. Interesting.
He had to get Tevez in there, so he slapped him out there on there so that he could get Del Piero and Ronaldo in there. You know what? Interesting. But Dani Alves?
Yeah, no Lichtsteiner.
You know why he put that in there, right? Because they're on this big kick to kill the rumors about the Cardiff halftime thing. Everybody that talks about is killing this whole halftime thing. We know what went down, okay? We know what went down. So he threw Alves on his little thing there as whatever. But Dani Alves, like Bonucci, I think Bonucci's taken part in some of the electric cabbage since retirement, all right, with throwing Alves in there. That's all I got to say. But nonetheless, interesting.
I got to storm the barn. All right. How do we stop getting scored on crosses and the back door, getting burnt on the back door all the time?
Are you saying Juve's got to shut the back door?
That's
It's a good plan for everybody. Shut the back door. Shut the back door. Listen, I don't. It's infuriating, the coverage defensively.
It's so frustrating.
It's just they lose their mind when the ball's coming in the air.
Yeah.
It's boggling.
Shout out to Tuna, Mitch, RB, Giratina. We had a members chat there yesterday. Even Bucci lined up from Mumbai came into this call, but we talked about it. And one of the biggest things we all kind of like agreed upon and noticed is that we are so quick to jump out positionally when we're still in a defensive phase. And it has a lot to do with a ton of the goals we concede.
Yeah.
On set pieces, like it's like half the group is in like trying to zone and half the group is man marking. And I can't quite figure out what the hell they're trying to do, but pick something, go with it. I've always just man to man. I've always believed man to man is the best way to do it. Stick to your guy. Like it becomes a scrap in
Find
there.
a shirt, right?
Just, don't lose them. You got one job to don't lose your man. And then what happens?
Cover the
from
open
there
guy.
happens. But
It's
yeah,
pretty
like,
simple.
God, I don't understand it, but the positional break for us, like, look at the goal we conceded against Como. That's a back post header where he's free. But if you watch the build up to that, Cope Miners fucks up the first ball, playing it right back into the middle. He got lucky. It came back to him. Then he tries to take Cutrone on to the outside. Well, guess what? Our players, when you watch that, the second he's lost it, they're already outside the fucking area. Like, they're gone.
Mm-hmm.
We're still in a defensive, like, set, technically, because he hasn't gained any ground. And if he loses that ball, you still have to immediately defend, and they're gone. They are gone. And that guy at the back post, all alone. Because the positions just completely broke down too fast. So that's something that drives me nuts. Because how much tape do you have to watch for that to happen over and over and over and not get corrected? And I've said it all along. Like, this whole thing with Vega too, and this ball playing CB, it fucks us up too. Because the mids are taking off, just banking that we can break these lines. And when we don't, it's an easy transition for the other team against us. It's like, build up as a unit. Your midfield should be one unit. It's not 3 individuals. It's like, it all has to work together, and it isn't. So I have major questions about this whole system and this whole style. And honestly, Allegri used to piss me off with this shit too, because he did the same crap. Our midfielders would just fucking bomb, and you're just banking on finding them. And then what you end up with is a straight line across the defense, and you can't hit them anyways. And they have no space. And you're playing your players right to the defense, making it easy to take them out of the game. Like, build up together as a unit. Anyways, it pisses me off.
I've never played D before. Luch, have you played D? What's your position?
I have.
Well, what's your
Unfortunately,
thought on that? Because
I was usually a left back, so I'm not very tall. So I usually got burned at the back post too. So I shouldn't really talk. That's why they ended up moving me to mid, so I wasn't getting torched every time. But yeah, usually the way I would see it is you see who's in front of you. You're marking that same man, like Al says, man to man. You stay with that guy at the back post, or you follow him wherever he ends up going, because then you'll have support coming from the mid as well. So whoever else is around, you should have your support instead of bombing up the field before you even have full possession of the ball. So it's frustrating. It happens how many times this year? I've lost count. So
yeah.
Omer's
it's irresponsible to leave the defense the way they did against Como. Tuna, lack of concentration, focus, attention to detail on defending set pieces.
And we talked about the panic too, Bert, like the sense of panic. When you're panicked defensively, you're either all rushing the ball carrier and not covering everybody else, or you're ball watching and you're kind of flat-footed. Like when Kelly got roasted by what's his face there on the right side. Yeah, Perisic in the PSV game. That winger just danced by Weah and then danced by Gotti and then had a nice free shot that went off Loca's face. Yeah. And it goes floating in the air to guess who? Kelly, who's sitting there going, da, and he's got Perisic, the tricky vet, right in front of him. So, again, it's ball watching, standing, panic.
You gotta clean it up. You just gotta clean it up.
Yep.
Do you think Monta's play style, we need more physicality and stamina, and that's a big part of why we aren't effective? I don't think so, to be honest. I cannot for the life of me understand why we just don't click with the talent we have offensively. Like, I think it should be much cleaner. There should be more interplay, more exchanges, 1-2s, but they're so far apart. Positionally, I don't think it's physicality. I don't think it's stamina. I think it's all comes down to just positionally. Our issue is just the spacing is all wrong for them to connect. And from a game perspective, this is where Monta drives me mental, is because when you need adjustments made at half, they don't come.
Yeah.
A substitution is not an adjustment. That's the difference. Is like, you could change personnel, but unless you change direction and instruction, there are no adjustments made. So today, coaches are going to play a big part in this one. And the adjustments are going to be key. He's kept one in his pocket in Kenan Yildiz. But again, the last time, You're 2 goals down. So everybody that's out there has to get it right up until that point. He 1,000% enters this game. Keenan Yildiz enters this game for sure. But
Yeah.
let's see
But
what
hopefully
the
not
rest
to
do.
score 2 goals and tie a game.
Let's hope we're not in that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I got a 2-2, but hopefully the dream was correct. Okay, so it all comes down to Paolo's dream. All right, everybody, but I am hyped up. You guys, do you do anything different on big games, like ritual-wise, like superstitions? You carry any? Paolo, do you do any superstitions?
Sometimes I'll have a couple of pints.
Nice. That's not a superstition more than it is tradition, I think.
Oh yeah, sorry,
for me.
I misheard you. Not really. I might wear a certain shirt. I might get my chores done before so I can relax and make sure there's nothing else that's going to interfere with my game. But no, maybe a shirt sometimes or a scarf.
I'm going with this one today. Lucci, what do you do on
No,
big
I
game days?
just pray, but I do that every game. So
I will be praying for Savona. Prayers
God.
up for Savona, everybody. All right.
good luck, kid.
Good luck.
kid.
Godspeed. We're going to be here together 20 minutes before kickoff. Hope to see you all there. You guys are the best. Paolo, Lucci, always an absolute pleasure. Pumped up, getting ready for this game. Hey, it's all over now. Now we wait to see what our lads do. Again, mentality, approach. Same thing. Set that alarm clock. Have a Jaeger bomb. Turn on the Metallica and let's rock and roll right from the first whistle to the last 3. Come on, let's give them one of these big fat days today. Come on, Forza Juve, fino alla fine. We'll see you all real soon, 20 minutes before kickoff. Let's go. Ciao, ciao.